Hello everyone, welcome back to another video here in the channel Charles More. Please be sure to comment, like, and subscribe to the channel Charles More. Please remember to keep your comments it's not offensive. If you're not subscribed to the channel Charles More, please hit the bell notification to get notifications when the channel receives uploads. Donald J. Trump's 4th of July had been a complete disaster for him. And to start the video off, I just want to say that, when a narcissist normally sees a holiday coming around, then normally they will take credit for the holidays coming around and take credit for everything, or they'll either hate it. Now, to Donald J. Trump, I have to say, I'd have to say that, I think Donald J. Trump kind of likes to take credit for everything happening, especially America's 250th birthday. Yeah, so I have to say that, yes, he's proud to actually take credit for everything. Well, not proud to be an American, probably more proud to just, take credit for everything, make himself look good, feel good, that stuff. I mean, that's what narcissists love to do. Stuff to make themselves proud of themselves. They behave like, like everything is about them. And the sad thing about that is, well, people are gonna notice that, when you start acting like an idiot and you behave like the world revolves around themselves, other people are gonna start figuring out that, hey, this guy is just a disgusting human being and he's acting so pathetically and that stuff, and I don't even want to be dealing with the BS, that's what narcissists really do. We're so full of BS that you realize how much of a disgusting piece of crap and garbage that this guy really is. How he sounds, how he acts. When he acts like he's so prideful of himself and that stuff, you gotta say, hey, this guy is just acting like a pathetic piece of garbage. Alright, who wants to deal with that BS? Alright, who wants to deal with that? Alright, hey man, at the end of the day, I just like to just, I like to just, sit back, relax. I don't want to be dealing with all this BS, it's just it's not worth my time. So, why do you think I want to be sitting around dealing with this BS all the time? You think that I like this? You think that it's actually good and worth my energy and my time to be sitting and dealing with all this? No, you know what, no. No. If anybody actually thinks that this is something that I love doing, you're dead wrong. You're dead wrong. Because I can tell you, there's a lot of people in my life and people that I've actually been around and that stuff, and they're so full of BS. And why they constantly do that? It's because they obviously just, they obviously just, they just don't even know how to, they don't ever get a life. They don't ever give a life. And, yeah, that's the disgusting part about people is that they don't grow up and get a life. And this is just frustrating. It's just frustrating. You know, and I have to say it like it is, because you know what? This is what people are full of. This is what people just, you know, it's what they are. So, you know, like, it's just something that, you know, I think a lot of people can actually get used to. This is how people just, you know, act, behave, and, you know, they just, well, I gotta say, they just never grow up. Or to say it like this, they just don't know what life is. They just don't know what life is about. And sooner or later, you're going to figure out in life that life doesn't revolve around you. Alright, and that's what narcissists think life is. Like they think life is about themselves. And making themselves feel good, and, you know, just, it's all about, you know, me, what can I get out of it? You know, that is just sad. You know, the more you go through life being like that, the more people are going to look at you and say, like, hey, this guy is just a piece of garbage. And that stuff. Like, I don't have time to be sitting around dealing with, you know, this stinking BS from this person all the time. You know, like, why can't they just grow up and get a life? Oh, that's a good question. That's a good question. The answer is, they don't know how to. They don't know how to. And they won't ever figure it out. Most of the time. So, that is just, you know, that's just the way that it goes, you know, man? Like, there are people nowadays that just care about themselves. So, Donald J. Trump only just cared about himself, being that the narcissist that he is. I gotta say, you know what I gotta say about this? Is I just gotta say, you know, why are people so full BS these days? You know what? There's a lot of people that grow up and just don't. Well, it's their parents' fault, first off, for not raising the child, you know, appropriately. And, you know, correct the behavior and that stuff, instead of sitting on the side like, hey, I don't even want to sit around and deal with this BS. You know, like, if the kid wants to be a spoiled brat, then I'll let him be a spoiled brat. That stuff. But, it also depends on the, parents' attitude on whether they want to raise a child the right way or not. That stuff. And don't, like, if they're gonna throw a temper tantrum and whiny fit, don't throw in the towel and just say that, alright, I'll give up, I'll let him have his way, and that stuff. Like, no, that's not the right way to do it. You actually give the proper discipline to the child. If the child is gonna throw whiny fits until it gets what it wants, and that stuff, and you throw in the towel, what is that doing? What is that doing? You just you, you just, alright, you tell me. You tell me what it is. Alright? Alright? What is it? What is it? If you're not doing the proper parenting, then what are you doing? Then what are you doing? You're just not going to bother, right? You're just not going to bother with parenting the kid, right? Yeah, you know what that's you're gonna do? That's just going to let the person just be a spoiled brat. And yeah, and I don't know if that is what is going to happen with Donald J. Trump. I don't know. I don't know what is going to happen. But I have to say, that whatever is going on with Donald J. Trump's head, he's going to continue to act like the world revolves around him. And that is just, it's just sad. It's just sad, and it's actually very pathetic. So, I just have to say, Donald J. Trump is a pathetic loser. He's a pathetic loser. And if that's the behavior that he wants to continue, then he's just going to be a loser for the rest of his life. And you know what, I can say, man, you know what? At this point, I don't care. I don't care. He's actually a pathetic man who is just President of the United States for a second term. The man that you MAGA Republicans and Republicans that elected Donald J. Trump to serve for a second term. Yeah. You just kind of just gave us another, just gave us another 4 years of dramatic chaos and a lot of BS that America's gonna have to just put up with for the next 4 years. That stuff. And I would say to those people, I would say, you should be ashamed of yourself. You didn't know the background of what Donald J. Trump really can do? You don't know what damage he could do? In fact, during his first term, when COVID came around, he didn't really do anything about it. He said everybody take hydroxychloroquine and... Wait, did he even do his scientific research that hydroxychloroquine can actually be a really powerful pill that some people just cannot, that their bodies just can't really tolerate? Alright, did he even bother to do his research? No. He wanted to take credit for everything, in my opinion. In my opinion, I just don't think that he wanted to play that smart. Alright? It wasn't until Joe Biden became president of the United States that he urged everybody to be getting vaccinated. And you know what? A lot of people had a problem with that because of the my body, my choice. Yeah. Okay, that was good. But look at that. Look at that. If you didn't get vaccinated, you would die from this deadly COVID virus. And yeah. And Joe Biden was actually more of a president of the United States that I actually... He wasn't psychotic, chaotic, and giving America a lot of BS that America would have to put up with in their everyday life and that stuff. It's just, it's just the kind of BS that, he wasn't like a comedy clown. And, a stupid loser like Donald J. Trump. No, he was actually he was more of a, he was more like, how should I say this? I think he was more decent. And he acted his age, yeah. And that's the thing. That's the thing about Donald J. Trump. He doesn't act his age. He doesn't even know how to grow up and get a life. And doctors are not, are beginning to experience that he's got a lot of problems. And the reason why he's acting like a pathetic human being is because he doesn't have the head screwed on right. That's the problem. That's the problem right there. So, yeah. So, what else can you expect? What else can you expect out of Donald J. Trump? More stupidity and more dramatic piece of BS that I don't even want to put up with. Now, at the end of the day, man, I'm just getting sick and tired of actually putting up with this, At the end of the day, I just want to just relax, okay? And not have to deal with all this BS that's going around in America. Because you know what? Donald J. Trump is actually creating more and more BS that you obviously America is just going to have to put up with. And yeah, Donald J. Trump is ruining his life more and more and more and more. And he's really like a pathetic circus clown. I gotta be honest with you, and I gotta just be real that I think the more and more that Donald J. Trump wants to humiliate himself, the more and more America is gonna sit back and laugh and go, ha 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 ha! This man is just a pathetic class clown. He's not a proper president of the United States. He's just a comedy clown. And America's just going to sit back and watch the fireworks fly. And say like, what have I done? Why did I elect this pathetic loser and comedy clown to just be the next president of the United States? What kind of voting decision was that? What have I done, America? What have I done? That's what you did. You just gave us 4 more years of this chaos, and she just gave us more BS for America to just put up with the next 4 years, up until 2028. And then, what is Donald J. Trump going to do after he is supposed to leave the Oval Office? Throw a temper tantrum? Cry to his mommy that he doesn't want to leave? And that stuff. If I would face it, I would just go back to New York, and I would actually be, I'd be getting back into my orange prisoner suit, and I'd be going to jail just like Letitia James wants you to. And, yeah, and then America is going to probably just watch how much of a loser that you really have been your life. And you know what? A lot of people are going to be just laughing at you by the time that you get out of the White House. And yeah, then the next person that will probably win the election, if Vivek Ramaswamy gets into being the next president of the United States and that stuff, I wouldn't be surprised if he has I don't care if he has a fresh set of legs. If he has the same kind of mind as Donald J. Trump and is going to give us the same thing that Donald J. Trump is actually giving us, I wouldn't be surprised. If Vivek Ramaswamy is going to be the next clown that actually be president of the United States in 2028, I wouldn't be surprised. And then, you know what? It's another 4 years of drama, BS, and chaos that just goes on in America, and we have to put up with that until, 2030, 2031, I would imagine. Yeah, and then I don't think that would actually look pretty. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like what was said here, please comment, like, and subscribe to the channel, chat more. Again, please remember to keep the comments decent, non-offensive, and, well, I guess America is going to continue to constantly deal with this BS and drama. At the end of the day, I just want to just relax and not have to deal with this. But apparently it's just not going to happen. Have a good day. I will see you on my next video.